Ever wondered why rockets always blast off from places like Florida or India and not, say, chilly Antarctica or vast Siberia? Do you think palm trees are a space launch essential? Think again. There's real rocket science behind choosing these tropical spots. Let's find out what the experts say about these equatorial launches. The first reason is that launching a rocket from the east coast gives it an additional boost due to the rotational speed of Earth. Yeah, you heard that right, Earth rotates from west to east, which means that if you launch a rocket in the same direction, it gets a little extra push from the planet's spin. How much extra push? Well, it depends on where you are on Earth. The closer you are to the equator, the faster Earth spins. The average speed at the equator is about 1,040 miles an hour, or 1,674 kilometers an hour. But at the poles, Earth hardly spins at all. The speed there is almost zero. So if you launch a rocket from the equator, it's like getting a free 1,040 miles per hour speed boost, which is about 15% of the orbital velocity needed for low Earth orbit, LEO. That's around 7,000 miles per hour or 11,000 kilometers per hour. Translation: massive savings on fuel, which is rocket science for saving big bucks. To put things into perspective, launching from Cape Canaveral in Florida can cut fuel costs by around 10% compared to Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. And if you launch from Kourou in French Guiana, you're saving even more coin. Now, speaking of rocket fuel, it's the gold of rocketry. It decides how much stuff a rocket can carry and how far it can fly. So conserving fuel isn't just about dollars, it's about efficiency and reaching for the stars without burning through your budget. But that's not all, there's a safety angle too. Rocket launches are high-stakes affairs with plenty of what-if scenarios. Engines might sputter, things could go boom, or mid-air collisions could happen. And if Murphy's Law strikes, you want the fallout to land in an ocean or a barren desert, not on your neighbor's rooftop. The third reason for this equatorial preference has to do with some VIP satellites. These space celebs need to hang out in what's called geostationary orbit, where they stay parked above Earth without crashing into other satellites. To get there with less hassle, they need a lift from the equator or somewhere close to it. Why? Because geo-bound satellites need to match Earth's spin. They can't drift off to the side like a bad GPS signal. And geo-satellites are the heroes behind everyday tech. They help us communicate, navigate, check the weather, and more. Consider those satellites that send your TV signals. They need to stay in one place, sending shows to millions without getting bored and moving around. For that, they take off from near the equator, like Kourou in French Guiana, the European Space Agency's favorite spot to launch rockets. So while near-equator launches are the top pick, it doesn't mean other locations are left out of the space fun. There are a lot of things to consider, from what kind of orbit you want to what kind of stuff you want to send, how the weather is behaving, who you're friends with, and how easy it is to get to the launch site. It's all part of the rocket launching adventure. But guess what? Not all rockets follow the equatorial rules. Some like to show off their skills in more northern or southern places like Russia, China, or Alaska. But why the frosty launch spots? Well, these rockets have a different goal in mind, and it's all about getting a polar orbit. One where they circle around Earth from top to bottom, or the other way around. And for this high latitude trip, they're not looking for an equatorial boost, they're purposely avoiding it. They're going for a different kind of boost, one that lets them see more of Earth than any other satellite can. You know, some satellites are like the paparazzi for space. They snap pictures of everything, covering every corner, even those sneaky poles that hide from geo-orbit. To do that, they need a launch pad with serious attitude, like Russia's Plesets Cosmodrome, China's Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, or Alaska's Kodiak Launch Complex. These are some examples of how different launch sites are used for different types of rockets and satellites. There's no one perfect place to launch rockets from. It depends on many factors and trade-offs. However, some factors are more important than others, such as the environmental impact of rocket launches. Let's say rockets are comedians of the cosmic club, but their jokes come with a cost. Every time they launch, they burn a lot of fuel and release a bunch of gases into the atmosphere. These gases, like carbon dioxide, water vapor, nitrogen oxide, black carbon, and aluminium oxide, are not just harmless punchlines. They can mess with the ozone layer, heat up the planet, and even affect the air we breathe. Now, rockets are not the main culprits of global warming. They only contribute to about 0.03% of the total carbon dioxide emissions, but with more and more rockets taking off for space exploration and tourism, their comedy act could become less funny and more harmful. That's why our rocket scientists are looking for ways to make their rockets eco-friendlier and more sustainable. They're experimenting with cleaner fuels that sound like they belong in a sci-fi movie. Liquid hydrogen, liquid methane, and electric propulsion. They're also recycling their rockets, like SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, which can land back on Earth and be reused for another show. These rockets are not only saving money and resources, but also proving that they can be the stars of the sustainability stage. But sustainability is not the only thing that matters to our rocket scientists. They also care about safety and reliability. You know, rockets are like complex puzzles with thousands of pieces that have to work together perfectly. If anything goes wrong with any of these pieces, the rocket could end up in a disaster, like blowing up, crashing, or getting lost in space. That's why our rocket scientists are very careful and meticulous, making sure their rockets can handle the harsh and unpredictable conditions of space. They follow a set of rules that are stricter than a drill sergeant on a bad hair day, all to reduce risks and prevent mistakes during launch. Imagine this: redundancy, like having a plan B, C, and D for everything. Quality control, where every part is inspected and tested before takeoff. Simulation, where the rocket gets to practice its routine in a virtual world. And then there are the abort systems, the last resort to escape from a doomed rocket. By having these precautions in place, scientists are making sure that rocket launches are as safe and reliable as possible. After all, it's not just about getting to the stars, it's about getting there in one piece and having a blast. Now, we have a famous money problem. Rockets may look sleek and shiny, but they also come with a heavy price tag. Launching a rocket is not a cheap thrill. It takes a lot of resources and cash to get one off the ground. And the cost varies depending on many factors: how big the rocket is, what it's carrying, where it's going, and why it's going there. But rocket scientists are not just spending money, they're also making money. They have to balance the costs and benefits of each launch and make sure they get the most bang for their buck. And they're always looking for ways to save money and increase value. They use cheaper materials, smarter designs, and even collaborate with others for some cosmic carpooling. Check out India's PSLV, a rocket that can carry multiple satellites in one launch. Or China's Long March 5B, a rocket that can lift huge payloads into low Earth orbit. And don't forget New Zealand's Electron, a rocket that can launch small satellites with a big impact. These rockets are making space more accessible and affordable for everyone. Who said you need to break the bank to reach for the stars? Speaking of rockets, I have a surprise for you. Did you hear there's a new beast in the rocket kingdom that might destroy Elon Musk's Starship? Now you might think I'm kidding, right? Well, maybe, but you should see it for yourself. Trust me, it's worth it. Just click here to watch the video. But hey, don't go anywhere yet. I have something to tell you that will brighten up your day. Are you ready? Here it is. If you enjoyed this video, please show some support by smashing the like button, spreading the word to your friends, and joining our awesome community by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon. I know it sounds like a hassle, but it really boosts us a lot. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more amazing space videos.